Thank you so much, Golden Boy. I am once again joined by ShahZam after an incredibly dominant 2-0 victory over Nuturn. And I'm curious about your thoughts coming into this matchup, particularly after having watched just 2 days ago, this being the team to take down the other North American squad in version 1. How you assessed coming into this matchup, in particular, leaving unbanned what is considered their best map in Bind.
Yeah, so we knew they were going to be a scary team to play against because they have a lot of set strats. We actually practiced with them. I think the first day we started practicing here in the quarantine, and they actually surprised us with playing really different from the other regions. Lots of set plays, lots of unique plays with their ultimates. Honestly, I want to take some of their plays.
Okay.
Really creative, but we actually enjoy playing against these kind of teams more because I feel like with my preparation, it becomes really easy to me when you're aware of them to start reading specific utility and what they're set up for and how to counter it. So really solid game plan. Obviously the guys came up clutch too. And yeah, I think it really came out in the prep for me, at least calling. So we were confident going in.
I mean, that said, you mentioned kind of their set plays and their compositions. They're vastly different from what we see in a lot of the other regions. I'm seeing Breach with double duelist and things like that. But therefore, it also in some ways feels a little sink or swim when those plays aren't working out. So, pretty early on, both Bind and Haven, you guys kind of wrestled control. Did you feel like it was smooth sailing? You said, at that point, I can start reading the map and I know where to go and send my guys?
Yeah, I think early on we lost quite a few ecos on the defense side of Bind. Honestly, I think it was first one was a little over rotation for me. Just a bad rotate, so we just needed to trust that the other guys are gonna hold the site, which is fine. At least the game plan worked, the gun rounds, there are good adjustments. So when it came to Bind, we switched up our ban because we knew Bind, they're undefeated or something, and it's a really good map for them. But I also know that means that they're running a bit of the older meta quote unquote comps, and so they're not going to change anything because it's been working for them for so long.
Right.
They dominated Sharks on it, so that's why I kind of baited it. I knew they would pick Bind, and then I could just create a game plan for it for sure. And their ascent looked really good versus V1, so the veto, I was really happy with the way it went.
Well, speaking of which, you're referencing the role that you play on the team, which I think for many people in the community is such a big point of interest. Sentinel's the only squad here without a coach. We know that you fill, a lot of that role, as a coach, as a mentor, manager for the team, and then also the IGL, and still at times the top fragger. So I want to get a little bit more perspective of what is the day in the life of Shaz, off of the stage itself in terms of prepping for these events and making sure Sentinels is set up for success.
Yeah, so we still don't have a coach. I mean, eventually I'd like to get one just to ease the workload. So the kind of preparations and stuff is on me. I mean, the thing is that as an IGL, when I prep for these teams and I watch and I create game plans and notes and, we have them printed out and stuff, I also learn about the game. I learn about how other teams play, and that helps me take creative things that I see from these other teams and implement them in our own gameplay. Mm-hmm. So it's just fun. Valorant's such a fun game to play and watch and be creative with. So I honestly I enjoy just doing the prep and stuff. Sometimes the guys will sit with me and I'll explain it's easier in person when I'm look at this, they're gonna play here and do this. But we also stick to the stuff that we know and our defaults and our protocols. So it's a healthy mixture of both. I think we found a good balance in preparation and forcing our gameplay onto them.
Sweet. Now speaking back onto the series itself, again, Nuturn so far in this tournament has had kind of a trend of dropping the first map in a pretty one-sided fashion. There was 13-5 against Sharks, they lost. There was 13-3 against version 1 that they lost, and they were coming back in these situations. So you beat them 13-5 on Bind. I would imagine there's some confidence that's built just off of a dominant scoreline, but at the same time, were you trying to couch expectations? Guys, look, this is a situation they've been in many times before, and they're perfectly capable of coming back from?
Yeah, I mean, it shows they have a strong mental as a team. When they played V1 and lost on Haven and managed to get these OT wins, I think they were down on maybe even both the maps or something.
Yeah.
They definitely have a strong mental as a team. But the confidence going in is Bind, if we could crush them like that on their best map, then we feel really good, especially going into Haven where they had trouble. So
that's a good point. That's a good point. You targeted the second map was one they'd already struggled on. Two more questions for you. Again, back in that leadership position, I'm now thinking about the rest of the pieces that you have to work with. So I'm just kind of curious, again, as you look at the different pieces of the puzzles that make up Sentinels. In particular, I'm thinking Tens joining the organization as a leader. When you get pieces like that to work with, what does it do for you in terms of opening up strategies and the kind of confidence you can have in having certain guys make plays?
I mean, Tens is such an amazing player. He really surprised me when he stood in for us and how, well-rounded of players. You know, people like compliment his mechanical skill, but like as a teammate, he's always open to criticism. He's always open to listening. Like his communication's good. Honestly, I'm just like so impressed to be like we're lucky to have gotten him. Outside of that, like, you know, sometimes he'll go for his crazier plays and he like I'll have to reel him back like no, just do this, trust me. And then sometimes like I'll be like, all right, go for it, like do the crazy play, and it works. Like sometimes you have to let these players do the stuff that might seem a little bit more risky because that's how you like frustrate another team. Like you get away with a crazy round you probably shouldn't have.
Yeah.
So
that mixture of experience and kind of a young, unbridled talent is so interesting to watch. You know, kind of come into a confluence. But finally, you're at the top of the mountain now, and you're waiting for your opponent in the grand final. So looking down below you, you've got a few teams fighting to make it up there and challenge you overall. But you guys have looked in some ways untested so far with the dominance that you've displayed. What's your message for the teams below you looking to join you up there at the top?
Good luck. You're going to need it. I mean, it's a best of 5, and we kind of like kept the bind hidden until now. So just, whoever we play, good luck.
All right, good luck. You're going to need it. Any idea who you're going to play?
I have no idea. I think all 3 of the teams are really strong. Honestly, I expect either Liquid or Fnatic. Both of them seem to have like been getting their groove, and I respect both teams. So.
All right, well, 3 challengers left looking to fight against Sentinels in that grand final who await them on Sunday. But ShahZam, thank you so much for taking the time to interview with me today. Congratulations on the victory.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
All right.